All right, 7.1.12. Complete the following statements. If triangle YSR is congruent to triangle MVD, then segment DEV is congruent to something. They have that written incorrectly. So sometimes what I do to help me do this problem is I just make a little sketch, and we've got Y, S, R, and then I have another triangle here that is N, V, D. And I know that angle Y is the same as angle N, and I know that S is the same as V, and I know that R is the same as D. So um, if I'm looking at segment DV with this congruent statement, I know it has to be congruent to segment SR. So this would be segment SR. So you can look at the congruent statement, or you can sketch a little picture if that helps you. For the segments, usually not that big of a deal, but sometimes for the angles it can be tricky. So you have R, Y, S, and so that would be congruent to angle D, N, V. In this, in B, it says if ray AB bisects angle DAC, then what is congruent to what? Well, if we have a angle and it is DAC, and if ray AB bisects it, so here's my ray AB, then that means this angle here would equal this angle because AB is the bisector. So we would say angle DAB is congruent to angle BAC. In C, it says if triangle WQY, in triangle WQY, if angle WQY is congruent to angle QWY, then what? Wow. I always like to make a picture. It just helps me visualize. So we've got this WQY triangle, and in this triangle we know that WQY, this angle, is equal to QWY, so it's equal to this angle. And so if these two angles are equal, then we know that these two sides have to be equal. That's the converse of the isosceles triangle theorem. So that says that segment YW is congruent to segment YQ. Let me try and write that again. So that would be YQ. Alright, and then in the last problem here it says if ABCD is a parallelogram. So ABCD was like making a little sketch. BCD is a parallelogram. That means both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. B is 148, so this is 148. And so then we can find out what angle C is right here, because we know that these two angles are same-sided. So we know that 148 plus x is going to equal 180. So if we subtract 148 from both sides, subtract 148, we're going to get that x equals 32. So angle C equals 32.